Good evening, Adebayo Lanon. Welcome. Shegun Fatuma, welcome. Eric Osadolo, Yomi Jegede, welcome. Rochelle White, welcome, welcome, welcome. Bolaji Martins, Justin Mayo, Mayowa, Daniel Atsenga, welcome everyone. Nice to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Daniel Oshoma, Bashu Jela B, Samuel Grondin, welcome, welcome, welcome. Benny Gift, Jake Oke. Nice to see all of you. Adeola Disu, nice to see you. Shigo, nice to see you. Shao Smith, welcome. Gladys, welcome. Elizabeth, blessings. Joseph, welcome. Alice, welcome. Obi Madu, welcome. Victoria Amani, welcome. Afolabi Victor, welcome. As we are coming in, let's go ahead and share the message immediately so that we could help other people who don't know that we have moved the platform to know that we're here and for us to give them direction. So let's quickly go and share the link for everyone to know where we are and to be able to find us. So if you don't mind, please go ahead and look for your friends and maybe tag them in. Go ahead and tag them and let them know we're here, that we're not lost, that we're set to go. We're here. We're here. Jacob Saleh, you miss your princess. You have a wonderful princess. That's one I can tell. I can tell you that one. She is absolutely gorgeous. She is wonderful. You are truly blessed. You are a blessed man. You are a blessed man. Jacob Saleh's princess is sufficient. And this week she's away with the Lord this week. So she's a great example. One of the hope that Nigeria has. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Jacob thinks I look great this evening. Thank you. All right, so please go share the link with your friends. Let's go invite everyone. Let's go invite everyone back. And yep, let's go invite everybody. And maybe some of the people who don't know we have left that platform for a week will be able to come and see us. All right, this week I'm talking about ladies. I'm talking about men, actually. I'm talking about men. What does a man need to know before he marries, before he goes to marriage? But these messages has actually been universal. I think it's universal enough both for men and women, and also both for married and unmarried, people. So the platform and the message for this week is for men, helping to prepare men and helping raise up a new generation of men that will value women and that will, that will be able to know how to relate to a woman better than, what we're used to. So, yep, here we go. Today's topic is what every lady wants to see in a man. What every lady wants to see in a man. What every lady wishes to see or wants to see in a man. Okay, So we started this morning, and I mentioned to you that the very first thing that a lady wants to see is to see a father in a future husband or in a husband. Every lady wants a husband to be a father figure in her life. Okay, now the next thing that every lady wishes to see in her husband or in a future husband or already husband is what I call security and protection. Every woman is desperate for security and protection. Security and protection. So for a woman to agree to marry a man, she wants to be sure that he will be able to provide for her that security. A lady, the Bible tells us that women, as strong as they are mentally and maybe internally, but women are so fragile as well. Women are so fragile. They are so. The Bible actually calls women weak vessel, the weaker vessel. So they are like weaker vessel. So what is a weak vessel? Let me give you an illustration of that here. Now, I have this here. This is a weak vessel here. Why is it a weak vessel? I cannot just throw it against the wall or throw it down like I would throw this down. I can throw this down anyhow, but I cannot throw this down anyhow. Why? Because it's fragile. It's fragile. It's a weaker vessel. So because it's a weaker vessel, I must always be careful. I must always watch out for this glass. I must always watch out for this cup. I must always be on the lookout. I must always watch out. I must watch the way I place it down. I must watch the way I place it down, the way I pick it up. I must be watchful the way I take it. So basically, especially when it's full, I must take it like this with my two hands and must be very careful that I'm protective and defensive of it. So just the way, this is what is called fragile. Or let me use another one here. This is also fragile. Because it's so fragile, look at the way I'm holding it. I'm holding it with care. I'm holding it with attention so that it will not pour down because it's so full, and so that it will not be broken, so that it's not, I have to be very careful. So when the Bible talks about a woman being the weaker vessel, God wants us to treat her just like this, like we would treat a very fragile thing, like we would treat something that is very delicate. Every lady is very delicate. Every lady is very delicate, so she could easily be hurt, she could easily be broken, she could easily be damaged. And if you this as the reason I'm holding this with care, this jar here, is not just for it not to break. It might not break, but if I'm not careful the way I hold it, it will begin to pour down. You see, water will begin to pour down there. I will begin to spill it, and if I begin to spill it, it's going to mess up the whole place. So a woman, you don't necessarily need to be fragile towards her only for her not to be broken or not to be damaged. But sometimes you need to be fragile towards her not to wound her emotions as well. You need to be fragile towards her not to hurt her emotions. You need to be delicate and fragile towards her not to make her be broken, not to make her be hurt, not to make her spill water, so that she doesn't spill out her emotions, she doesn't spill out her tears, so that she will never cry. One of my commitment to my wife is that I will never ever leave home if she's not smiling. That's my commitment. I don't ever leave home, even when I'm about to preach, even when I'm supposed to go and minister. And I'm a minister. So my job is to go ahead and minister every day. But I have committed this to my wife from the very first day, that I will never leave my house if my wife is not smiling. I will never leave my house if my wife is not smiling, if she's not happy. Why? I must find out intentionally to make sure that she's a happy woman today before I go out. What does that mean? That is one of the very basic, not just requirement of a woman, but need of a woman. It is not just a desire, but a very need. She needs the emotional security. So every woman needs, every second of the day, she has to be emotionally secured. So one is not just security emotionally, but emotional security is just one of it. So a woman needs protection and what did I call it? Protection and what? Protection and, I wanted to say defense, because I've written my note in Russian, so I don't know what I call it in English. Every woman needs security and protection. Yeah, every woman needs security and protection. So she needs security emotionally. So why I'm telling her that I will never leave home without her smiling and without making sure that she is happy is just emotional security, right? I'm just trying to give her emotional security and protection. I'm just trying to let her know that, you know, you must be happy. Everything must be fine with you. You must be protected. You must be, you must be secured. So it's emotional security and protection. That is one emotional. Now, what are the other ways for us to give our ladies, our women, emotional security? Another way to provide emotional security for her, in my own case, what I've discovered in my own life is that, in my own marriage, in my own family, is that I must come to ask her. I must find out, except when I'm away for solitude. But if I'm not away for solitude, I must make sure that I call her 3 times a day, minimum 3 times, between 3 to 5 times. Not just calling, but I must touch her. I must, find a way to ask her how she's doing 3 to 5 times a day. Even though she's okay, I could just easily assume that she's okay, right? Everybody assumes that, everybody's okay when they are not complaining. But as a man, I want you to know, if you're a young man here, or even if you are not young, if you're already married, that just by asking how she's doing on a regular basis, that it's not about if she's okay, why should I be asking how she's doing? It's not about or you don't know she's okay. It's an emotional thing. It's a way of giving her emotional security as well. Just by going to find out. But I had lived in Europe longer than my wife. So at first, in our first few years of marriage, my wife was always concerned. Why are you always asking if I'm okay? Why are you always asking how I'm doing? Why are you always... why are you... am I showing any sign of... being desperate or destitute or frustration or anger? Why are you asking? Why are you always asking? Why? Everything is okay. But I've told you everything is okay. But later on, she got it. She began to appreciate it. That, she doesn't need to be frustrated. She doesn't need to be hurt or angry before I find out about her well-being. I just needed to let her know that I'm always here. I'm always there for you. I'm always here, princess. Princess, you are always secured. I'm always here, just like security. I'm always here for you. I just want you to know. It's just like saying you are going out and you have your security with you. It's not because there is danger coming. It's not because, there is any problem that you are envisaging, but you must just, because it's, especially when anything could happen. So when you see your security there, it gives you an additional protection. It gives you an additional, peace. That's what you need to do for a woman every day. Minimum. So if you are a man that wants to marry, or you are already married, remember this, minimum 3 to 5 times a day. It's just a rule. Because if you are going to wait for your emotions or when you have the mood, because I used to do like that. When I have the mood, I will find out, oh, I will quickly call. But sometimes you don't have the mood because you are so busy, and men are always so busy working, doing one thing or the other. So you don't really, sometimes you forget. And, women get angry when they hear that you forget. How could you forget to congratulate me? Or how could you forget to greet me? Or how could you forget to call? Or how could you forget to find out how I'm doing? Well, the problem with men is that men are men. Men who forget. Men forget. And men get carried away by other things. So, and then the woman will be concerned. So if you don't want her to be concerned and worried that you don't love her and begin to doubt, you want to put it in your schedule. You want to put it in your program. It's better for you to put it in your program that I need to call 3 times a day, or I need to find out, I need to approach my wife or my fiancé 3 times a day, 5 times a day, and find out how she's doing. I just need to go and approach her and, talk to her and let her know that I'm here for her. So if because when you marry and you begin to let that go and forget about that, and you don't do that, she will begin to worry and be concerned, and she doesn't understand that you forget. Because if you tell a girl or you tell your wife that I forgot to call you, I forgot, or I never thought about it, she's immediately thinking, he's not thinking about me. And for a woman, to be told that you forget about her, or you forgot about her, or you are not thinking about her, she's immediately thinking, I'm no more his priority. I'm no more in his schedule, in his list of priority. I'm no more important to her. Even though on the other hand, when I told my wife that, I didn't tell her, but she got to know that I had my secretary on the phone. That was not with finding out how she was doing. With finding out how she was doing, I was doing that by myself. But I needed to do other things to give her emotional stability and emotional comfort. Write her a card every week. I write her a card. Every week I give her a bouquet of flower. I do some other things like that. So every week there is a new program, a new thing that I'm doing to just give her emotional stability and, comfort, a sign of love, and just romanticism, and give her a sense of, just romance. So, but that one, all those things I do a different thing every day and a different thing every week, just to make our marital life more, spicy and more interesting. But then, because sometimes she talks to my secretaries, and I have different secretaries though. So, and then my secretary and my driver. So this time, she needed my driver. She has her own driver, but she needed my driver. And then my driver said, I've got to take this thing or that thing. And then another day, my driver had gone to get something for her. And she had always been thinking that I was the one going myself to get all those things. But, especially if you are a busy man like me, and you are so busy. And so she was thinking that I was the one taking the car and going to look for a card for her. I was choosing the card. Of course, it's much more satisfactory for a woman, for her to think in her mind that you are the one going to pick the card yourself. And if you have the time, if you can afford it, that's the best thing to do, really, for you to go ahead and pick the card yourself, for you to go ahead and pick the flower. I used to do that initially myself, but to be doing that all the time, I just thought, first of all, I could forget. Secondly, I have my drivers, I have my secretary, I'm paying them salary, they could remind me. And so what I did, I came up with my secretary with my schedule. So what we give on Monday, what we do on Tuesday, what we do on Wednesday, what we do on Thursday, what we do on Friday, what we do. So we put all that, work that out together with the secretary and my driver. And so every Monday she will get a flower. Every Tuesday she will get a card. Every Wednesday she will get another thing. Every Thursday she will get something. And she was thinking that I was the one going to look for those things every day. I mean, I can't afford it. So, but I put that in the program. So she got annoyed. She got annoyed because so that taught me another question. I mean, it taught me another lesson. And the lesson it taught me is that she is actually not interested in those cards, in the flower, or in all those gifts. She is more interested in the emotional attachment of my heart to her. And through those gifts. So through those gifts, she's looking at my emotional commitment and my emotional attachment to her heart, to her, that I'm always thinking about her. If I'm going to get to spend 2 hours or 3 hours to get that flower, it means I'm thinking about her so much, and that's why I got that particular flower. And she's looking at that flower and she's thinking that, oh, I was thinking about her when I was driving there to go get it. But so when she discovered that I was not driving, I was not the one driving to go pick those flowers up and those perfume and all those things. So she was a little bit disappointed. Then later on, I explained to her and I told her, the princess, look, either I will not do this thing at all, or I have to put it in the program. So anyway, she got it at last. She said she was disappointed a little bit, but at least she got the idea, and she commended the fact that, okay, at least, okay, I'm not so happy, but it's better than nothing. So anyway, but what I'm trying to tell the men is that you guys, work it out. Anyhow, it works for you. So if it works for you better to to be going to do it yourself, it's okay. But if it doesn't work out for you to do it yourself, get help or put it in a program, put it in a calendar, put it in your daily calendar, put it in your schedule it. Because some people say, well, why should you schedule it? That was another problem I had with my wife, because she was saying, why should you put it in a program? As if I am some inanimate object. Why should you put it in a program? Because she wants the emotion, you see. She wants me to be always, she wants to think what is better for her is for her to think that I'm thinking about her all the time, and that's why I was going to do it. But when she got to know that I actually put it in a schedule and in a program, she didn't like that so much. But later on, we also came to the conclusion that, look, princess, this is real life, oh, and in real life, we get busy. Things happen. Sometimes I cannot leave the office. Sometimes I have people everywhere. And your husband, I'm just too busy, and I'm a people person. So anyway, so we settled that as well, that it's better to put it in a program than not to put it anywhere at all and not to do these things at all. So I'm just telling you what ladies like and what ladies will not like. But one thing you have to do is that you've got to do something to give her that emotional security. But this is just emotional security, right? But we're going to talk about other security that she needs as well. Obina says, flowers isn't for Nigeria girls. Okay. Okay, flowers isn't for Nigeria girls. Okay. Flowers isn't for Nigeria girls. Oh, you see what this is another confirmation I'm hearing here. I will come back to the flower issue. Okay, let me deal with the flower issue first. Okay, if flower is not for Nigerian girl, you know what flower really means in European culture. It's not about the value of the gift. It's not about the gift. They are not saying flower as a gift as such, as the value of it that is going to cost $100 or $50 or $20. But they are seeing more, and they are looking more at the attention behind the flower. So what really matters is the attention behind the flower, not the value of the flower itself. The value is, that's why my wife was concerned and was particular about the fact that I was the one going to pick the flower. So the time I spent to go pick the flower, the fact that I thought about going for the flower, the fact that I will actually bring it home, and the romantic aura that it forms, the ambience of romanticism, and the statement it makes that she's important to me, or that I just want to give her some gesture of attention and love. That is all what matters. So maybe in your own culture, or African culture, or Nigerian culture, maybe flower might not be the thing. But look at something, because you cannot just be buying, a telephone every day. You cannot just just be buying a book every day or buying something valuable or expensive every week. But so maybe, something that is not expensive, but that will just show your attention to the person. So that is about the attention. Okay, now let me read a comment for you here. Shigo is saying, which is a confirmation of what my wife said as well. So this is a confirmation here. Shigo says that if that flower and the gift that you are bringing to your wife is mechanical, then it's not worth it. So that's just to show that, women are women everywhere, and women are, they have the same feelings and the same emotions. And, she got it. That's exactly what my wife said. But, but in my own case, I was able to explain to her what, the issue was. And, she said she's not as excited as she would have been if I had been picking the things myself, and if I had not put her in a schedule, if I had been doing all that, she would have been more happy. But I understood that she decided to cope with me that way. Okay, now those are just emotional stuff, right? But when we talk about protection and security, we are not just talking about emotional security and protection. So those things I'm saying, those are just to make her feel nice, to make her feel, at home in our own house. But the bottom line is this. Let me tell you this. Listen closely to this. The whole idea behind this is to let her know that there is nothing more important in your life than her. Only don't go and put her over God, though. Don't go and put her above God, all right? But the whole idea is for her to know that she is number one in your life. So bottom line is that. So it doesn't really matter what you do and how you prove that, but the thing that a lady must know when we are talking about protection and security is that she wants to know that there is no competition, that there is nothing that is more valuable to you than her, that she is the most important person in your life. She must know that she's more important than your job. You must prove to her that she's more important than your work. You must prove to her she's more important than money. She's more important than your ambition. She's more important than any other thing that you have in your life going on. So, and how do you prove that to her? She needs a constant. You don't just say, but I told her that one time, she should know now. But no, she needs affirmation emotionally. That's what makes women different from men. She needs emotional affirmation, emotional confirmation all the time. She needs to be told, and not just be told with your mouth only. So you need some actions to affirm that. And it is because of those actions that you need, that is why those things that I was talking about are necessary. Okay? Now, apart from emotional security that you give to a girl, you must give her more than emotional security. You must do anything possible to let her know that with you, she will never suffer. Now, of course, we know things could happen in life, but at least make that statement. Make her know that with you, she will never be in need. She will never suffer. She will never, she will never be troubled. She wants to know that she will never be troubled. She will never, be in need. You want to so much affirm her. You want to, not just emotional now, both financially, spiritually. You want to give her a covering. You want to cover her in such a way that she is so secure. For example, let me give you an example. When I met my wife, she was having, what do you call it? We in Africa call it pus, like a pus was coming out of from her eye. So it was like a growth, like a little cyst and growth here in her, just under her eye, just in her eye like that. So she went and did it and did an operation in Ukraine here. In Russia, we call it Yeshmen, they call it. So it was a growth like this inside, like a pus inside of it. So she did operation first time, and they removed it. And when I met her, she actually had a plaster on her face. No, after I met her, a week after she went for that operation, or 2 weeks after. So she had a plaster in her face. So I went to meet her after that operation. And okay, we prayed together, we were together. That was the first time I was meeting her after I had proposed to her. So then after that, the next time she came, maybe about 2 months later or 6 months later, she said the pulse or the growth had come back to her eye. Oh, okay. And it went back, and she went for operation again. And this was leading to our marriage now. And after the operation, after another 2-3 months, the thing came back again. So I just told her, Princess, I mean, you know, I don't think I was calling her Princess that time, but she was just my fiance that time. So I just said, Princess, you know what? Forget about this thing. You know, I want to let you now know that it is not by accident that I'm in your life. I want you to just want you to you know, I just want you to leave this thing alone with me. I take responsibility for this, your growth right now. I take responsibility for that pause right now. So I said, I am coming. So before I went and prayed very well. I fasted like for a week. I prayed. I went to look for faith literature, books. I went and fortified myself very well. I read books about faith. I fortified myself. I established my faith. And I told her, you know, this thing, I am going to solve it. Doctors cannot solve it. They have already proved to us that they cannot solve it. They have already done operation 2 times, and nothing, the thing is not being removed. I now want to tell you that I'm a man of God. So that, what does that mean? Even if the thing has not worked out, right? It's still a kind of support for the girl, and it's still, you know, a lady must have that kind of security. A lady must have that kind of protection, that kind of protective edge. She must know that there is somebody in her life, right, that is so much there for her, that is, watching over her like a father would do for his daughter. Okay, that. So a lady wants to marry because she needs that security and protection. So I went to her city. I was living in another country. She was living in Russia. I was living here. So I went to her country and we met and I prayed for her. You know what? What what doctors couldn't do, what nobody could do, because I had prepared and I've asked God for it. I prayed and I command the thing to be removed. And you know what? The thing disappeared after a week. After the thing was removed, the thing never came back till today. Till today, that thing never returned because I took responsibility. So, and for her, that gives her a kind of assurance. That gave her a kind of, protection, a kind of confidence that she is covered, that she is protected. And I've already told you the story of, so that is more than emotional protection now. That is more than emotional security. That is like more like, is it spiritual? It's, of course, our spiritual security is from God, but a lady needs to know that her husband, that she is marrying somebody that is going to be there for her. In fact, I will tell you something that even my friends and even her friends were saying, you have all this, she had a plaster in her eye, as if she was blind, She was having this plaster all the time. And I have the photograph. Even till today, when people see the photograph, they say, wow, this was before you married? I said, yes. Before you married, she was carrying plaster like this in her eye? I said, yeah. And you still married her? Because I loved her. That is what I had spoken about the first day. You must, before you approach the lady, you must let her know that it doesn't matter what will happen to her, either good, bad, or ugly, if you have given her your word that you are going to be there for her. So when she began, she had that problem in the eye, it was my opportunity. It was my opportunity to test myself and to prove to her that I will really be there for her. That is what a man should do. That is who a man should be to a woman, anytime, any day. Now, let me tell you another story, which I had shared one day here. We were not having children for the first 3 years of our marriage because we didn't want to. we were realistic, and I don't believe in people having children the very first year or the very second year of their marriage. I think it is a little bit unthoughtful to have done that. It is unthoughtful, I think. I think that especially if you are not too old, if you are still young, and if you didn't date like for 3, 4, 5 years, but you actually only, if you are if you are newly wedded, give yourself time. Give yourself another 2, 3, 4 years to just live together without having a baby. There is wisdom in that. Because if you begin to have a child immediately, or to have children immediately, you don't really get to know each other to the end. You don't get to know each other. You don't get to study each other. You don't get to know, each other's likes and dislikes and, specifics and things like that. So it is wise to actually wait 2, 3 years without having children at all. So that's what we did. Now, the downside of that is this. After 3 years of, doing birth control and all that, then the 4th year, we decided to have a child. And so just being educated people, so we said, okay, before we begin to have, have pregnancy, to be pregnant, let's go and check up first. Let's go and to the doctor and go for a general checkup. So I went for a checkup and she went for a checkup. Then she came back and I came back from office. I couldn't believe who I was saying. I couldn't recognize my wife. Hey, trouble don't break. Oh. I never even knew that she could ever become so gloomy and so depressed and in such a bad shape. I never knew that a human being could be changed overnight like that. She was so down. She was so depressed. What happened? The doctor said she will never have a child. Why? They said, okay, there is one diagnosis, then the second diagnosis. Okay, no problem. Let's go and find another doctor. We went to find another doctor. That one found another problem. We went to find the third doctor. They said, yes, she will never be able to have children. Okay. For me, I just told God, well, if this is the way it's supposed to be, I'm going to prove myself faithful to you, and I'm going to prove myself faithful to her as well. But I was also telling Satan that, Satan, you will regret this, you better give that child as fast as possible, because if you don't let that baby come, I am going to double my effort whipping you and going after you in a bad way. And if you don't let that child come, even my wife, she didn't want to do ministry that time. I'm going to equip her. 2 of us, we are going to be battering you from every side. We are going to jump and going after you. You are going to regret it. We are going to go after you so hard that you will be forced to let our children go. So, but that was what I was saying. And I told her that as well. But, being a man, and I know that, I cannot believe how that news brought so much depression and bad mood to her. So I really wanted, I was not even concerned for the children anymore. Let's leave the children question alone. What about you? Let's save you first. Let's rescue you first. I must rescue her. I must return her back to herself. I talk. It was not helping. God help. Then I said, okay. So this day, I woke up this morning. I just said, what should I do to give this lady peace? I said, okay, I don't even need children anymore. Forget. She said, but she needs it. The people will not understand. Our family. Okay. I said, okay, if that is the case. So I came to her. I said, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes right now. I said, Princess, I prohibit you right now from worrying about this question anymore from today on. I just prohibit you from worrying. Or even I prohibit you from thinking about it. It's not your problem anymore. This one, it has become my own problem with God. If God called me, and if I am his servant, it is now for him to prove it either true or not. So I'm telling you, Princess, please, this is no more your problem. Just let's assume I am the one who is impotent. I'm the one who is barren. It's my problem. I am going to forget about it. Though it's not your problem anymore. I just prohibit you. I ban you from thinking about it. And I said, if this thing is not solved, though, it's my problem. So don't even say it as your responsibility anymore. And I went right from that night. I came from the office. I said, Princess, don't look for me. I'm going to look for God. I am going on adventure with God. I'm going to resolve this problem. I'm going to resolve it with God. Either I am going to get an answer before I come back, or we are going to come back and have a child immediately, or I am going to come back with a word. God must come and reveal himself and tell me something about this issue about our child. So I went down. I went out of the house. I went and got myself an apartment. For a week, I was not drinking. I was not eating. I was just drinking water and just Bible and music and just me and God. Then I did it for another week, and then God spoke to me, gave me a word for my children, for my child, for my children, gave me a revelation about the child, and and all that, and I came back home. 2 weeks later, we were pregnant. So the question was resolved. So what I'm saying is that it's not about either the result came or it didn't come, but the assurance is what I'm saying. A man must be able to give that kind of assurance to the wife. So even if we didn't happen to have a child, or the child never came, but what I'm talking about right now is that security, is that protective edge, is that security that she needs to know that she's secure. Even though I don't have a child, yet I'm secure. Even though we're not going to have children, yes, I'm secured. I'm secured in this man's love. I'm secure in this man's protection. I'm secured in this man's acceptance. I'm secure in this relationship. A woman needs to know that she is secured. A woman needs to know that she is protected. A woman needs this protective edge, needs this security at all times. So you must do everything, even before you marry her, to assure her of your security, of our security, of the fact that you are there for her and you will always protect her and provide for her this solid assurance, this unflinching faith in her, in your relationship, in the security and protection that she needs to be more comfortable and confident in her family. Now, that is another form of security and protection, right? Let me tell you another form of security and protection that I think a woman needs in a family. A woman also needs financial security, and she also needs financial security and protection. A woman needs that financial security and protection. Financial security and protection. Now, what do I mean by this? Can you imagine that? As a pastor, I know this for a fact. I even have couples like that in my own church right now. That women, where in a marriage where women, are so afraid to have children because, for example, one lady in particular told me they have been married for 10 years, and she said, I cannot afford to have a child for him. I said, why? Is it because you cannot have a child, or you don't want to have a child, or you people don't want to have children? She said, no. He said, no. I cannot just afford to get pregnant right now. Why? Because if I get pregnant, I have to stop working. And if I stop working, his own salary alone or his own income alone will not sustain us. I cannot afford to get pregnant. 10 years. They have been married for 10 years. The man has not done his own work to give this lady security enough, financial security enough, so that she will be able to even have children for the two of them, so that she will be able to have confidence enough to be pregnant. This lady cannot even afford to have a child. So she's going to be 40 years old, and she said, I know I'm getting old. I'm going to be 40. But if I do it now, I can do it. I can risk it. But there's too many women that she said, I know too many women. You know, there are so many foolish, I'm sorry for that, woman. Please don't be annoyed at me. But there are so many foolish, silly women that are saying, oh, God will provide. God will provide. You know, something will happen. God will find a way. It will just, some people will help or something will happen. So that is foolishness, because you say, okay, God will help or something will happen, and then you got pregnant, you don't have vitamin to take, you don't have, you cannot go for your medicals, you cannot you cannot have the clothing that you need, you cannot buy the things that the child needs, you cannot live in an apartment, you got pregnant 6 months later or 9 months later, they are chasing you from your apartment and they're telling you to pack out, and why should you just rely on a chance? Why should you just rely on chance when you could, you have to do what you need to do? So there are a lot of women like that because their husbands have not provided financial security. The husband has not done everything possible from his own side so that she will never need to work. If you, for me, what I teach my members here is that if you want to marry, think first. Make sure you do your adequate preparation. Get ready first. Be ready enough so that if anything happens, that your wife will not be able to work, or she cannot work, or she gets pregnant, so that you will not go into crisis immediately, so that you will not get into trouble that, oh, now we're in crisis, we have to do abortion, or we have to do something. Get ready think about these things before you even approach a woman. Think about these things before you even propose to a woman. Don't just use all your money to do wedding. Don't just use your money to do party. Think about what will happen after the party. Think about what will happen after the wedding. Think about how you will live if she will not work, so that that you are capable of providing for her and of giving her that financial security. And I know that there are so many other children as well. I mean, there are so many other families where, even in my own church here, where they have one child and they cannot have the second child. Why? Because the man might want to have the second child, but the lady is afraid, because she remembers what she went through when she had one child. But there are, like I said, there are also some stupid women who don't even think about the consequences. They are saying they are relying on God. And then they will suffer. Those children will become drug addicts or alcoholic or failures or destitute or, poor people, despised, people who have complexes and all kinds of problems, because these women didn't think. And I have other examples also in my family, in my church here, where every year they are giving birth. 3 children in 3 years or in 4 years. 5 children. Oh no, we don't have 5 children in this church, in this country. But sometimes people have that. But in our place here, maximum children is 3 children. But how can you have 3 children when you have just 1 bedroom? How can you have 3 children when you don't even have a car in Europe? So in that kind of situation, I had women come to me and to my retreat, to my HMT that I do for women and for families. The lady will be crying profusely and weeping and screaming that I don't have a life anymore. I don't have a life anymore. My life now is breastfeeding and cleaning this baby and doing this, and from morning till night this is the only thing I see: kitchen, washing, diapers, or what do you call it, and all diapers and all those things. That is the only thing. Before I married, I was happy. I was beautiful. I was a praise and worship leader. I was a minister in the church. I was a business person. I was a student. I had an interesting life. I lived a life that was interesting. I was loved. I saw. But now I cannot even see sun. I cannot even see green light. I cannot even see anything, because the husbands cannot afford to get a house help. They cannot afford to get a car. They cannot afford to get all the help they need. Because they are just getting pregnant without thinking. So that is exposing the lady. That is exposing her on very many levels. That is why when they criticize women, that women are after money. You know what I tell my girls in the church? What I tell my women, the women in our church? I told them, please look for wealthy husband, not wealthy, well-to-do husbands. So please, let anybody call you anything they want to call you. Make sure he's well-to-do. Make sure he's self-sufficient. Make sure that he will be able to provide for you. If he's not well-to-do, if he's not self-sufficient, let him go pack his load and go and look for another one that doesn't care. But it is your life, oh. Things will get worse. Things will get much more difficult. Things will get rough. Even with money, things will get rough. Talk less of without money. And don't be afraid of public opinion. Don't let public opinion put you in prison. And nobody is going to be living with you, or nobody will be pregnant with you. Now you alone, you yourself have to carry that pregnancy by yourself. Nobody is going to be, feeding the baby for you, because you need to eat properly to be able to have milk and to be able to feed your baby. Nobody is going to do that for you. You will be all those people talking, all those people saying you are not a woman, you are greedy, or you are materialistic. All of them will be in their own house, enjoying the comfort of their house, while you will be crying by night. You will be crying by night by yourself. So these are things that are needed for you to assure, to your wife that she will never have to go through these troubles. She will never have to go through these pains. That she will never have to go through this, crying and weeping in the night. She will never have to carry all the load and all the problem and the responsibility on her own head and alone. She will never have to, to be desperate and be in need and be suffering and be in pain and be destitute and be, debtors and people that is owing money and looking for you, and then you cannot sleep. You cannot. I'm sorry. If you have read the book of Shouts, Lio Shouts, or in Kiro books, those things shouldn't be happen to women. Those things, no woman should go through what those ladies went through. Nkiri Ojimadu and Lio Shouts, Emmanuel. Nobody should go through what those people went through. Nobody. And part of the problem is that there was no man around, or a man that is around was not well prepared. Not well prepared to protect a lady from those kind of. That is why I started this message by saying a lady is a weaker vessel. It's a fragile vessel. A lady is fragile. A lady is delicate. A lady should be protected. You have to look after her, watch after her from every side, and make sure that you are very careful. You must be protective of her. You must be protective of her. Just like you cannot throw this bottle now, just like I would throw this cloth and just throw it anyhow and place them. You see the way I'm carrying it? You see the way I'm carrying this thing? You see the way I'm placing it down? And with care and with attention, that is how you should be carrying your lady. That's how you should be carrying your wife. That's how you should be treating your wife. With so much care, with so much attention, with so much attention to details, with so much protective edge, with so much care. And it's not just so that it doesn't break, but also so that nothing pours out, so that the things inside will not pour out. So that's the way we should treat a woman. Not just so that she's not broken, or she's not dead, or she's not sick, but so that she will never be unhappy. We will never get her to a place where she's unhappy or where she's desperate. No lady should ever be in that kind of situation, especially if she's married. If she's married, that is what to be protection and security means. Being protected and secure means that she will never have to worry. She will never have to be troubled. She will never have to think, how will my children go to school? Can you imagine? Can you imagine a lady that somebody told that I love you, I care for you, I marry you, and then she's the one who has to think, how will her child go to school? So it's better not to even have that child in the first place if you are not sure that you'll be able to send you'll be able to send your child to school. That you'll not be able to buy your child's uniform, that you'll not be able to give her some food to school. If you are not going to be able to do that, why marry? Or why even have that child? Live your own life. At least don't bring disgrace and shame to your own self. Be on your own. Be satisfied by yourself. Is it by force that you have to marry? Is it by force that you have to, go have a man sleeping with you? If you need a child, there are so many children out there that are praying for God to send them parents, that are praying that God should send them mother and father. Go, if you are self-sufficient, provide for your own self. Go and get a kid or a baby from the orphanage or from the foster home, and adopt a child and give that child everything that you can afford to give him. Don't go and tie your life down with any man that is so irresponsible that you will lose all your status, you will lose all your security, you will lose your protective edge, and you will just become a destitute in this world. Just because you need a man to be around you. So I just hope that men are here today to hear me. I just hope that men are here today listening to this message, and I just hope that this message will go a long way to, that not just men who are already married are here, but I hope that young men are also here. And I even think that we could give this to our children. I think that we should give these teachings to our kids, to our daughters, for them to know and think critically before they enter into any relationship. And I think we should give this teaching to our boys as well, so that our boys will never let any girl go through these things because of their irresponsibility. I think we need to, we just need to tell the people truth of what is up, what is waiting for them in life if they are not adequately prepared, and if they are not, if they don't know what they should know. Don't just marry because God said, though. Carry out the facts. Even if God said, wait, after God has spoken, let him get prepared as well. Don't just say God said so, everything will be okay. No. God said, God has said his own. A human being also must do his own part. It's not just God that should do his own part. Human beings also must do his own part. And until he has done his own part, don't rush to do anything. Don't rush to go anywhere. Don't go into marriage if you are not sure that you'll be able to have enough security and enough protection from the man. The man must be there to give not just emotional security, he must be there to give moral security, he must be there to give spiritual security, he must be there to give financial security. We shouldn't be afraid of that word. He must be there to give financial security. If he's not having that, let him grow up. Let him grow up. Let him grow up. And when he finishes growing up, then let him come. We'll talk after that. Besides that, you don't want to turn your life to an experiment. You don't want to turn your life to an experiment. You want, you want to live at least a decent life. To keep on living a decent life, you must make sure you do your due diligence. You cross-check. You cross-check all the factors. You cross-check all the factors, and you must make sure that yes, everything is satisfactory to you before you go into a relationship like that. Now, you guys, you know that we have a problem. My platform, my public page platform, which is having almost 1 million people, I cannot use it because Facebook blocked me for a week. So here, where we are right now, I only have 5,000. So we are reaching very limited amount of people. And I've not been, yes, the morning session, which is so important. The morning session is so important. Every human being needs to hear that. Unfortunately, only 2,000 people have watched it. Whereas in the average, on the other platform where we are, 10,000 people would have watched that. 10,000, the ones before then was 14,000 people watched it. The one before then was 12,000 people watched it. But this one, only 2,000 people, because only 5,000 people are officially here. We need to spread the word. So I want you to go ahead and share this link if you don't mind, because I think, maybe it's just my opinion, but I think that, this message needs to go out as well. I think it could be a blessing to some people and it could help them. Both this message and the one before and the one in the morning and from Monday, actually, let's go ahead and share these messages and let's let people know that we're on this platform. Let's invite them. Tomorrow morning I'm going to continue this session, but let's spread. That is the smallest that we've seen for some time now. 2,000 people. It doesn't. Yeah, for a whole day for me it doesn't happen like that. Normally when I finish, minimum 5,000 people. That is the very minimum. Otherwise it's 10,000, 7,000 people in the average. So let's spread the word. If you have not shared the link yet, go ahead and look for the button under this video and share the link. Make sure you share the link. Share the link and write something as well. Write something, write a call out, a remark or some, appeal to people to watch the thing. And so let's write something. And don't forget about our sign that we also say we should be writing. When you do your own video or when you do this, you want to write hashtag Pastor Sunday Live. Hashtag Pastor Sunday Live. Well, our time is over, unfortunately. Let me see what you people are saying about this this message. I hope you are blessed. Let me what are you going to say? What are your comments about this particular message? Let's hear what you have to say. Let me see what you are going to write. Okay, Shinwe Ananaba, we need to rise up to responsibility and shake off environmental influence when it comes to marriage decisions. Layo Charles Emmanuel is saying, wow, my head is blown away by this message. Bola Luro said, the book is Found by Mercy by Nkiro Ojimadu, right? Gladys is saying, my mind is being blown away by this message as well. Bola Luro also said, The Survivor by Layo Charles Emmanuel. Those books are deep, Elizabeth says. They are available on Amazon and Okada Books. Layo Charles Emmanuel is replying Elizabeth and saying, memories are leaving me speechless. It's as though my former life is playing out in front of me. So I'm just quiet and listening. Aderonka Adesonya Buraimo said, wow, only a man strong and solid in the Lord seek God for the family. Woman needs protection with so much care, spiritual, financial, etc. Women only need happiness. Ngoya Shari says, I could say amen to every single phrase of yours, Pastor. Thank you, my dear. Shinwe Ananaba said, if the man cannot protect us, we should protect ourselves because we have value and we are the effulgence of God's glory. Rise up, woman. Sandra said, this message should be shared. The information here is too vital. Shidi Mashinyere said, thank you, sir, for this word because they keep saying I am too choosy. You should be too choosy because it's your life. It's not their lives, it's your life. Ken said, couldn't see any man on this platform. Men, where are you? Where are all the men? Why only the ladies are commenting? Well, maybe the men are not happy with what I'm saying or they don't agree with what I'm saying. TY said, I was better off actually than when I was married. Yeah. Single. I was better off single than when I was married. You better stay that way. Aderonke says, most African men need to hear this message. Alex Blessindra said, love of just mouth will not work. Lord have mercy. Anna Thompson said, preach, Pastor. Molly says, Pastor, this is not a crying matter. This is real class, powerful message. Ernest says he's a man, he is here and he's listening quietly, silently, he says. Victoria Salau said, thank you, sir. This message is just too much. Davida says, this deliverance, actually. Layo Shao said, this is what they should preach in all those single retreats they are holding everywhere. Bidemi said, thank you, Coach. Christy said, thank you, Pastor. Flair Karen says, I will send this man for a training in Kiev first. Abasi Godwin said, Pastor, many of the so-called rich men in Nigeria have refused to raise their children and are spending money on their babies outside. Well, that is why women must be careful before they sleep with those kind of rich men. Women don't have any business sleeping around with those kind of irresponsible men. She must first of all find out how irresponsible he is. He must prove his responsibility before she goes ahead to sleep with him. Fumi Jaboda said, never believed I would come to the stage where I prefer to be single than to be married. Now, Dr. Adilaja is making me more determined, stronger now than then. Hallelujah. Davida said, there is so much wisdom. Angel Gili Okonko said, even if a man is not very rich, but if he can provide security by just appreciating the lady. Chris Okedengbe said, yes, sir, we all must let all our children have these messages. Adeshadu says, some men are just not worth it. Of course, they are not worth it. That's why you should choose. It's not the man choosing. You should choose if to agree or not to agree. Unkiro Jimadu said, Pastor is waking up dark memories in me, but I thank God for my life today. It is sweet and getting sweeter year by year because you've got the right man around you, man. I mean, lady, madam. Layo Shao says, every father and mother who do not want to cry over their children, especially their girls, when they marry, should make sure they follow every word here like a life manual. Won't say more than that. She Sandra says, Layo, maybe we need to, we need to turn into a book. She Sandra says, some men will try all they can to avoid this great message, but our sons will be taught the right way. Good. Yeah, the women are responsible for the children to be taught. Oyinye said, wow, this is awesome. Pearl said, don't turn your life into an experiment, girls. Elizabeth says, all single women, please listen, 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 listen again. Listen good. Chris Ogedengbe said, please, sir, a book must come out of this week's messages. Daniel Oshoma said, men, hear the message. If you will do the prison tenure, don't commit the crime. If you don't want to do prison tenure, okay, don't commit the crime. Is that for the men or for the women? Elizabeth says, where are all the men in the house? Are you people taking notes or you are all gone to sleep? I love you all so much, she says. Okay, Shiwindu said, Pastor, when will you preach to the women? What about the women? Well, I'm starting with the men first. So this whole week and next week, I'm going to be talking about the men to the men. Well, but you men like to claim that you are the head. So if you are the head, we have to start with you. Why should you? Let me finish with the men first. Then later on, we'll start with the women. Now we are dealing with the men. You should have patience. Let me finish teaching my message to the women, to the men first. What women needs to know, what men need to know before they marry. When I finish doing the men teachings, I will now go back to the women. What the women need to know before they agree to marry. So let me finish this. This is just the second day actually. So let me finish with the men first. I will start with the women when I'm finished with the men. Men, if you say you are the head, have patience. Let me finish with the one I've just started, and then we'll see what follows after that. Olukayode said, good one. I've shared the link. Men are getting improved and becoming better husbands thanks to the teaching. Thank God. TY said, I just feel really sad that all I suffered was avoidable. I almost lost my mind, went through PSTD for years after, and only by the sheer grace of God I'm standing today. Dr. Adelaja, this message is priceless. We can't overemphasize the importance. Thank you, sir. Angel Okonko said, any man who hates or finds something wrong with this message is definitely what is wrong with our society right now. They need a drastic change of their old religious mentality. May God help us. Victoria says, this is priceless truth. Thank you, sir. Shegun, who is a man, said, Dr. Adilaja came hard on us men today. I came hard on you? I don't think so. I don't think this is coming hard at all. I'm just telling the truth. These are just the way things are supposed to be done. I don't even see it as criticism. I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm just telling my own story and sharing how I think things should be done. So I don't see it as coming hard on anybody. I'm just saying it the way it's supposed to be. Gladys says, thank you so much for this week's topic. I have made mistakes. I know my two daughters are not going to repeat the same mistakes. Amen. Gloria says, wow, this is mind-blowing. Thank you, Pastor Sunday. Cordelia M. If half of men will apply these principles, the world will become a better place. Thank you, Pastor. Princess Juliet says, I love this message, sir. God bless you. Dennis says, thank you, Pastor Sunday, for this wonderful message. Manhood is redefined here. Daniel says, marriage is not an ABCD. It is more than sleeping with a woman. So men should step up their game. Men also need comfort and support from their wives. I have already said it, that I will get to the one of the women sooner or later. Let me finish the one of the men first. She-Go, this message got me pensive. So much could have been different with prior knowledge. Another great word. Abasi Godwin say, Pastor, most Nigerian men in America are collecting their wives' paychecks. Ooh. And if a woman is a nurse, that means double trouble. Most Nigerian women nurses in America are killed for their paycheck. My God. That's why we must get them to listen to these messages, the men. Blessindra says, women are hard working these days, even more than the days of our grandparents. But still, some men are still childish to see that they don't see the quality of their women because of ego. God have mercy. I'm loaded, my mentor, my pastor, for your wisdom, by your wisdom. God bless you for us always. We love you so much. Benga Showumi, that's my publisher. Hello, sir. Welcome. He said, I am here. I am a man. Okay. Molly says, I feel very sad, but there is hope. Euchoria said, don't stop, Pastor. This teaching is awesome. You are a rare gem. Thank you. Daniel Oshoma said, Pastor, I've chased all the men away. If that is what is happening, that the men are running away from the platform because of these messages, that is very sad. That is very sad. I don't see anything hard in what I'm saying. It's just the normal thing. That is what it's supposed to be like. And it's not even men that I'm talking. I've not even started drill. If you had come to my retreat, to my HMT, I do HMT for a week for men. That is when we really do the real talking, men talk. Here, I'm a little bit, cool because I know that ladies are here. So I'm not really giving you the hardcore truth yet. I'm just, saying it, the way it is, really. So if the men are not, if the men have not been living like this, the way I'm teaching now, if that's not the way the men are living, then I pity the women who are living with those men. I really pity the men who are living with, and the women who are living with those men. If you are not doing these things this way, if this is not the way you are living, if this is not the way the men are living, then I'm sorry. Then I just don't know how women are coping up and putting up with anything less than this. O.D. Carroll said, we so need this course in our schools to prepare many for the unknown future. Which universities will start to think about making it a core course too. Yeah, I hope one day it will be in schools. Patrice says, I agree, Pastor Sunday. Yomi Jegede says, Pastor, I don't agree with some of your philosophies, sir. Yeah, it's your right. I'm not your wife. So that's my philosophy. So you resolve it with your wife. You resolve it with your wife, but this is my own philosophy. I'm sharing what I believe, and you have the right to accept it. That's a man saying that, of course. You have the right to accept it or not to accept it. I'm just sharing my own experience. I'm sharing what I know, and thank God that here in Ukraine, God has helped me to be able to raise up so many families and so many men who are very grateful for these teachings. Men are very grateful in this country for this teaching. And but people have their right to choose to accept or not to accept. I'm just sharing what I know, and it doesn't have to be accepted or agreed to or agreed on. Oluwatoyin Bidemi said, we are here, women. I celebrate you, coach, going back to the drawing board. Yeah, I think we need to go back to the drawing board. Some men need to do that. Ladi Shorunke said, I have always thought I have a strange way of thinking. Thank you for your insight now. I know that my reason for not having children until I finish my residency is correct. I made sure that at least I have a plan to take care of my wife. Chris Ogedengbe said, Pastor Layo, I agree with you. This is what should be preached in all the women's singles and marriage conferences. Patrice Gordon says, my name is Patrice, but I'm a man, Pastor Sunday. Oh, okay. And it's a powerful word, right? I remember you wrote me. Lanor Adebayo said, thanks for all the information tonight, and I will work on myself and improve. Obina said, Pastor, women have chased men out of here. I don't think the women are chasing men out of here, though. I think it's a pity that if men don't know these things I'm talking about, then that is a very, very big tragedy. It's a very big tragedy. These things I'm talking about are just normal. They are just normal things. They are just, for me, they are even elementary. They are not just normal. They are just elementary. And I'm, I don't know if any woman will agree to live with any man if these things are not there. Obi Ojimadu said, a wake-up call for the men. Ladies, shine your eyes. Obi knows that these things is normal. Obi has gone through my training. Anyway, Obi will be here on Sunday with his wife, and they will share with you what are the principles they live by. And they have written a book, and I hope they will be able to talk about that book, and I hope the books will be available so that it's not me talking. Let Obi and Nkiru come and talk and share their testimonies and the principles that they live by, because Obi attended the men's HMT, and he knows that this is just normal in the embassy of God. Olukayode said, women need to also know how to turn the table around. Men are to blame for most of our marital troubles. I agree, sir. God have mercy on us, men. I'm not blaming anyone with these teachings. I'm just trying to explain how things need to be. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not attacking the men. If that's the way it came across, then I'm very sorry. I apologize if that's the way it came across. But the idea is not to attack men. And the idea is not to blame men, it's just to open everybody's eyes for us to know the standard that we need to have. This is the standard that we need to, we need to aspire to. We need to be as Christ-like as possible. The Bible says that marriage is like the relationship between Christ and the church. And Christ even did much more things. I mean, he went ahead and sacrificed his own life for his bride. And so, big time sacrifice, you see. So I don't think this is out of order. I think, for me, these things are just elementary. These are just elementary. This is what I'm teaching my children, my son, and my daughters also know this truth. And even my whole church, thousands of people. Olukemi Opola said, Pastor, we need to convert these messages to books. Right. Elizabeth said, Pastor, these teachings, they blow my head. Oh, shy. It seems being unmarried is the way to go. Well, if they are not going to be responsible men, then the way to go might be to just remain and take care of your children or other people, the children that are looking for parents. Pro David, we'll watch this again, and I will say I love being single to church people. They start rebuking a demon that is not in the vicinity. I walk away rebuking to carry a cross God did not send. From rebuking to carrying a cross God did not send. Yeah, because, people are thinking that marriage is compulsory, but it's not. It's about choice. Benny Gibbs say, thank you, Pastor, for this truth. All we get to hear in church now is that it's better to build up with a man than giving for already made man. Well, I don't know which church is that. Lio Charles says, yes, Pastor, I thought about turning it into a book already. In fact, it will be fire, Pastor, top of the chart, Pastor. Too relevant a message, sir. Bola Luro said, I'm enjoying my single life with my Creator. Adaora said, this is very typical of some men. And it's sad, she says. Angel Okonko said, may God help our marriages to be the best just as He desires it for it to be. Ernest Ebong says, it's a great lesson tonight for all men. It is hard, but very insightful. I wish all men would learn from this. I know Pastor will also find a way to give the women the bitter cola someday because they too have their issues. That's a man saying that, of course. Elizabeth is crying, weeping, and saying, I love you, Pastor. Thank you, my dear. Bolaji says, it is a very challenging years of not understanding where to turn till after separation for 2 years and coming back again. This message should have come my way 20 years ago. Wow. Nkiru says, man, make una no drink ngwo because nkwo is coming. Well, I'm sure somebody understand that. Shinwe says the truth is not pleasant, so that's why some men are protesting, I guess. Justin Manyo said, wow, ladies, we are going to be quiet and taking some serious notes as soon as Pastor finishes up with the men. It's going to be our turn. Bola Luro said, Pastor, I'm following you like Twitter. Thanks, sir. Obio Jibadu said, yes, Pastor, the man is the foundation of the home. He is the head. So we start with him. They are the ones proposing to women even when they are not ready. Davida said, spirituality without practicality is ignorance gone to sea. Patrice is a man, says, this is a great message, Pastor Sunday. Kingdom blessings. Bola Luro said, we are laughing in, okay, Indian, very Paul Oria, they said very timely. I'm encouraged and more enlightened. Thank you, sir. Shinwe said we are here to learn so we can help those who have not yet dived into marriage understand what kind of trip they are about to take. Fumi, yes, I told Pastor about this before. That's Fumi Jeboda. Pearl David says, I feel you. I used to use dead women on a weekly basis. Cry to me, Pastor. I don't understand that. Sometimes the pastors preach forgiveness, doing something different, being submissive, and the men just do whatever in the name of marriage, and God forbid she is the breadwinner, and so she is not a citizen, or even worse, as a wife and kids in Africa just next door. Can you imagine? I feel you. I used to see dead women on a weekly basis. What does she mean she used to see dead women on a weekly basis? No, I don't understand. Paul said, learning ahead for better marriage for me and my beautiful queen. Adebayo said, Pastor, we are here, but we have not read men's comments. But you have not read men's comments. Okay. Ernest Ebong, I love the teaching so much. I'm a man and I'm sending them to all my friends. Daniel said, women who did not add it right with their previous must learn to forgive, because this will help heal their old wounds in order to move forward. Divine King says, I'm a man, give us the core truth. I need the uncompressed truth, so do not relent, Pastor. Joseph says, please, I'm here, I will not run away. Daniel Davis said, let the men run away from the platform if they want. Women will stay in the platform and will go out walking and walking and expecting the right standard anyway. Say, Pastor, it's too much. Sure. I'm not your wife. Daniel says, Pastor, we the men love you also. Only no one has taught us this way. Yeah, I think that is what it's about. I think it is about teachings. I think this kind of teaching has not been exposed to the men. The men here have not been taught these things. But this is just a normal thing. This is the kind of teaching that should be in churches. So Daniel says it is a life lesson which every man needs to hear. Yeah. Joy Akanono said, was discussing with some male colleagues in my office. They told me that God made them polygamous in nature, and it's in their nature to cheat. No matter how beautiful their wives are, they must cheat. Pastor, is this true? It's true that men are polygamous in nature, but that doesn't mean they must cheat. They must discipline themselves to obey the commandment. And the commandment is one man, one woman. But what they are saying, there is truth to it. The truth is that men are polygamous in nature, but they must still discipline themselves and live right. Christina Lampe said, powerful message, Pastor. Fumi Jeboda said, Pastor, a large percentage of men do not know these things. Otherwise, we won't have this much problem in marriage and such a high percentage of divorce. Yeah, and I think Daniel is right that they were not taught this way. I think it's a different kind of approach that pastors or whoever has taught them have taken. And so this is like a strange teaching to them. But this is just the normal thing. This is the way it's supposed to be. Lara says, as a result, there is gross injustice done to women in the name of marriage. Fleck Karen said, these teachings are a remedy against the high rate of divorce in our societies. Charles Smith says, you are not attacking us, Pastor. I believe you are just telling us the truth. Elizabeth Ali said, okay, if some married men hadn't taken the teaching, I, Elizabeth, would take it to singles and ensure those criteria are met. Hook or crook, it will be done. Amen. Especially to school pupils and teenagers, you know, all of us could start a lesson and spread the word. Pearl David said, Pastor, I agree. This is elementary teaching, but when a woman decides to be the responsible one in a relationship, if I was a man, I would not move a muscle, either by the negligence or recklessness with our lives and resources. Yeah, that's why it's not the woman who should take responsibility, it should be the man. Ngoya Shari said, no, I did not come across anything like this. We all choose the perspective in which we want to see things. It is constructive feedback at the very least. It is actually solution to most of the society's problem, no matter where in the world and no matter in what culture. Olukemi said, not an attempt to blame anyone at all. This is the right teaching. Okay. Daniel is saying, how many men today will be ready to die for their wives? Olayinka said, men should not protest. We should not protest. Men should not protest. Learn the lessons and change. Lanon Adebayo said, I got married to a beautiful Ukrainian wife because of most of the points analyzed tonight. So I don't have problems at all. It is a matter of being responsible. Very good. Davida says, spare yourself the trouble. As Paul says, you singles. Joy Akamonu says, staying away might be the way to go if you are an irresponsible man. Blessing Dra says, our president even said lately his wife belonged to the kitchen. That's how so many of African men think about women. Well, I've addressed that. I have a video I did on that. You can find that on my blog, on my YouTube as well. Shinwe says, Pastor, you are only teaching what you believe is right. Some people might get offended, but that would not stop the truth. People should learn and change their mindset about human relationships. Some people will learn and change, while some will go away unchanged. Is that right? Davida said, but this is also a great lesson for women, not just for men. Adaora said, well, I wish I was single sometimes. You know, I love the freedom. Yeah, that's why you should go ahead and teach the girls and teach the women that before they trade their freedom, before they give up their freedom, they have to think first. Paul Good News says, every message is a seed. Let us be mindful of how we digest them. Hearing makes the door wide. I mean, it makes it wider. Fool more foolish. I mean, okay, it makes the wise wiser and fool more foolish. Yesterday's morning message needs to be checked as well. Needs to be followed. Olukayo, this message is clear, sir. Only a bit far from our current mentality. You know, the society induced knowledge. We are willing to build a stronger family and correct our errors. The message is timely. My wife loves it too. But I think it's because of the culture we are coming from and because of the kind of teaching we are used to. But I don't think this message is excessive, and I don't think it's strange at all. Abby Coach said, this topic is inspirational and mind-blowing. Thanks so much for sharing. I'm sending this to my son right away. Love you, sir. Ojo Olawale says, from the onset, I had always prayed to God that my home would be another heaven on earth. So it takes conscious effort and prayers to put things right. Flair Karen says, I think people who don't like hearing this, they like their comfort zone because these teachings are so challenging. They only have a goal, give a better understanding of marriage for a successful relationship. Pearl David said, I speak in high schools, so this is awesome to train youngsters in high school. Pearl David also says, if you are in New Jersey, please inbox me. Christina says, we heard your opinion about cheating, but is cheating a real reason for divorce? No, of course no. Because I spoke about that yesterday, that love covers multitude of sins. So the fact that a partner cheats, we must forgive. We must forgive each other. Anything could happen in life. If you have given your word to the person, you have to keep to your word. Benga Showumi, I concur. We should have a book down for this, sir. I will discuss it on the Skype feed. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Pearl David say, Pastor, I am so grateful you didn't keep this away from us for 1 week due to the technical difficulties, because many women could have made more damning decisions this week. Okay, that they may not be able to recover. Wow, that's good. That's well said. Davida said, irreconcilable difference. Oh, okay, sorry. This is not for me. Well, you know what? My time is up. The time is over. But I'll be back tomorrow morning again. I'll be back tomorrow morning. And let's invite everybody. Let's spread the word. Let's go and share the messages. And let's invite our friends. And let the word spread. And let's change our world for the better using the principles of the kingdom of God. God bless you guys. Bye.